All right. Good morning. Morning. This feels a little wonky. I'm going to put this over here and have that. Just a second. I got to check the shutter speed on my camera. All right. Supposed to be okay. We'll see. Let me know if you can hear me all right. I don't really want to put on headphones, but if I have to, I will. How is everybody? Happy holidays, Nelson. How are you? You doing well? Oh, what's up, Richard? How are you doing? Steve Zedman. He hears me. Steve made it through the holidays. Awesome. Live, sponsored by Tyler Cheeseman's working. I'm gonna have to move this camera. I can't see the comments. Happy Thanksgiving. Hear you loud and clear. Nice. Beautiful day. Good morning, Jim. Hey, Ted. Hey, Neff. We had a good Thanksgiving. My battery died on the car, though, but we figured it out. Coming in loud and clear. All right. Hank, Slipknot rules. I agree. They're awesome. I'm going to Metallica on tomorrow, Saturday. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Alan, thank you for enjoying my videos, man. Joey, thank you, man. Rain Scorpion, happy Thanksgiving. Hank Hill, awesome. Greetings from Slovenia. Greetings. I can't say your name. I'll call you Matej. Richard, have a good day at work, brother. Mining coffee. Cheers to you. Happy Thanksgiving from the Dominican Republic. We got some multinational gathering of the people. Salutations from Puerto Rico. Knoxville says hello. What up? Randy, you're the best. With love from Israel. Holy cow. Cannot stop listening to my Emotivas. Yeah, they're pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Great audio deals. Y'all want to talk about some of that? When I think some great deals out there. 71-year-old ears listening from Colorado. Awesome. Love Colorado. I picked up a pair of Kef Q350s. $4.99. Thanks from New Orleans. Nola, you are welcome. That's a good speaker. Colorado Springs. Go Space Force. Picked up a SU8 RSL Speedwoofer. There was more. I don't really have any notes. I can bring up the notes from Monday's video if you want. But, yeah, why don't I do that? We can talk about the good deals. Maybe I don't. Oh, that's the wrong account. St. Louis. I had fried ravioli in St. Louis. I enjoy the show. Keep up the great work. Traffic was awful. I bet it was. Let's see. I guess I don't have all the deals. I thought I figured I had all the deals. One of my things. Would you buy the SSCS5 for $150 or pay twice for the 3020i Q acoustics? Well, the 3020i is going to be much better braced, but it doesn't mean it necessarily sounds better. The 3020i is, I would say, more neutral, but to some people, it's going to sound more boring. I think in the long run, the Q acoustic is going to be able to handle higher sound pressure levels. So it's going to do better, I think, louder than the Sony. But personally, for me, I kind of enjoy the Sony's sound over the 3020i's. Now, if you spend enough time with the 3020i's, then it will start to seem exciting. There's just something special about the Sony's, and they have a soft spot in my heart, for sure. Let's see. Turtle. Hey, Randy. Already been a question for you. If you tell us quick comparison between JBL Stage 830, Elac Uni UB52 and Polk X20. Okay, so the Elac Unifi UB52 is far and away the better speaker out of that, but it's also far and away the most expensive speaker out of that. Its soundstage is better. It has a better overall frequency response, has a more cohesive frequency response, and can play extremely loud and fill up a very big room. The A130 is probably next as far as how good it holds together overall as a speaker. And the Polk X20 is going to be after that. Polk X20 is a funner speaker. The JBL is more linear. The Elac is flat as a board, but yet it's still exciting. So the Elac is much better than the other two. Hey, thanks. Oh, sorry. Thanks, Randy, for your awesome videos. I really enjoy them. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you. Question. I have a decent headphone. Should be looking for a headphone amp like the TA, or should I get a DAC? What's your headphone, Mike? And I'm sorry, I'm going to ask questions back to you, and it may get buried in here. So let's just talk about headphones amp real quick. T8, that headphone amp is really there for convenience. It's not necessarily a really now it does have a dedicated headphone amplifier chip. But if you really want to get the best out of your headphone amps, I would look at something like the Magni, the Gashelli E2, although that's more expensive. I would look for that $100 to $200 range for a headphone amp. But then you also have to make sure you have a decent DAC as well. It depends on your headphones and depends on how much juice they need. Okay. Turtle, I'm curious about soundstage and imaging capabilities specifically. Okay, so if you asked about the UB52s, it soundstages and images the best. Second to the JBLs and then the Polks. The UB52s is a flat out fantastic speaker. I mean, incredible. Flawless, with really the exception of how it looks. Hey, what do you think about the Sound of O? I don't know that one. Listening from the mountains of southeastern Kentucky. Now, listen, also, there's a lot of folks in here, and I probably won't get to all of you, but super chats will get priority, obviously, because they're supporting the channel. And some of that money is going to go to Ron. So any portion of super chats today are going to go to Ron. My buddy at New Record Day. Slovenia. Igor. Europe. All right, Igor. Okay. What are your thoughts about Outlaw power amps? I haven't spent any time with them personally, but Steve Gutenberg has, and I think he loves them. One of my patrons is looking at getting one of their receivers. So I don't have any experience with them, but everything that I've heard has been very positive. Any thoughts on outdoor speakers? No, I don't really do outdoor speakers. Although I have some, I just don't spend any time out there. Sony $88 speakers is, yeah, sure is, Robert. I bought 2 pair yesterday. I'm doing a crossover mod. One of my patrons is kind of digging into their crossover a little bit more, and we're gonna modify it a little bit and see if we can hot rod it a bit. So I bought 2 pair, one to modify, one to keep stock, because my other one's got a bit fried. Love the video. Any recommendation for speakers for the garage workshop? Oh, Sony SSCS5s, Polk XT20s. Yeah, go on Facebook Marketplace or something to see if you can find some big old vintage Sherwin Vegas or something like that. But yeah, I'd go Sony's or Polk XT20s. Happy Thanksgiving. Elac Unifi UB52. What would be a good pairing with those? As far as amps, they're very neutral. So just about anything is going to work with them. I would go with Class AB though. Although the SVS Soundbase would do well. Also, links in the description for Crutchfield, for Best Buy, for Opos. So that'll just kind of take you to their landing page. And almost everything I talk about is going to be on one of those 3 sites. That receiver from Outlaw is awesome. Yeah, it looks really solid. It's got preamp outs, main in, I think. Ooh, Ifi, Zenfono, or shit Manny. Ooh, that's a good one. It depends on your cartridge. The Manny is more clean. So I think if you have, I can't say clean, it's more focused on the upper or on the mid range to the top end. But, what, baby? It's all right. My daughter's in here. We're live, sweetness. Look at that.
I can't ask for mommy.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
She's on school.
No, she's not on school. She's just doing homework. You can go in there. Go ask her for something. All right. Can you close the door, darling? Thank you. Love you. I am shooting, yeah. Biscuits. They're both good, but the Manny is a little bit more. So if you have a warmer cartridge, the Manny might be the way to go. Sorry. Hey, dude. Same first name. Hey, Randy. How's it going? I love cheap audio. Also, awesome. You're in the right spot. Apple sound quality versus Spotify. You know, at this point, I don't think they may be doing some magic sauce as far as like Tidal, Amazon. They may do a little bit in there, but they all sound good. And I think any differences in sound from the streaming services is going to be overshadowed by the sound of your speakers, the sound of your DAC, the sound of your amp, things like that. So I can't really say one streaming service is the best. I prefer Amazon Music simply because it's cheap and I know it, and it works for me. It's like $7 a month if you're a Prime member. Looking for my first cheap speaker setup. Should I go with some passive speakers and the amp or some studio monitors? I don't know much about studio monitors, Andre. I've spent a lot of time with passive speakers and small amps and stuff. If you're looking for your first cheap setup, it's hard to beat the Sony SSCS5s with the IEMA A07, and then you'll need a source going into that. And I like the T8, or even the Amazon Link is on sale right now for $130, and that can be a DAC and a streamer. So that's the direction I would go. The A07 is awesome. You can also roll or change the op amps, which is really cool. From France. Hey, what's up from France? Would the SMSL 8018 be a good match for the Mookie M20-1? Thanks for your videos. I think it will. You're going to have to get into the EQ settings on there. They have, I think, 6 or 7 preset EQ settings, and then they also have tone controls as well. That amp flat with the Mookies is going to be a bit hot on top. So I would look at the bass boost settings, the SBD setting on EQ, and play around with it. I don't think it's like the best perfect setup, but I also don't think it's a bad setup at all. So I think it'll be good, but you're going to have to use some EQ. Have I heard the Yamo Center? I haven't. No. Whoa. All right, we're cranking. Because of your videos, I started getting back to audio electronics I used to make back in Electro High School. Nice, Igor. Gaining on the KEF Q350. Any updated thoughts from 8 to 9 months ago? I still think they're great. I ended up selling mine, not because I didn't like them, but because I just needed room. And at that time, I was financing everything by myself. So I needed the money. I think they're fantastic. I think they image well. They are more neutral than the Q150s. The Q150s have a bit more warmth. So I think they're fantastic. They really are. At $500, though, there's a lot of competition. Just picked up an RSL, and I'm loving it. Cool. What's up, yo? Hey, Mark. First setup was Sansui 717.
Dada,
yeah, baby.
I peed in my pants.
Okay, well, go have mommy take care of that, all right? Sorry.
Wait, it's falling.
No, I'm going to have mommy take care of you, all right? I'm literally working right now, sweetie. Can you close the door? Sorry, I got to text my wife. All right. Sorry. What sub would you pair with the Elac Unifi reference? Depends on your room. I think SVS SB1000 Pro is an excellent subwoofer if you have the budget for it. Then I look at the Emotiva subwoofers. Ooh, I should have put Emotiva's link in the description too. Emotiva subwoofers, they're great. The SE8 or the SE12 are both awesome. Just canceled my Amazon Music Unlimited because I couldn't find all my music. Went back to Tidal. I just feel the discovery algorithm is poor. You might be right, Martin. I've never really seen an issue with it, but I'm not looking for the latest and cutting edge stuff. So I'll play a track and I'll go down and I'll hit play similar. And that usually gets me there. If I just go to my music, it kind of plays the same thing over and over again. But if I find I hear a song that I haven't heard before and I kind of like it, I'll hit the 3 buttons and then go down and say play more music like this. Hold on, I'm going to close my door. Hi. Okay, we popped down a bit. Canto, I haven't heard the cantos. From all indications, though, they're pretty good. Denafrips Aries. Nice. It's amazing. Yeah, it's very good. Could you post how to support you in the description? You can click on the money sign down at the bottom, and that's called a super chat. And you can give that way. You can also use any of the links in the description. You can also be a patron. Patreon.com/cheapaudioman. So that is how you can support me. But you can just click on the super chat if you want to support me here. All right. Pop down. Are headphones always going to have issues with Soundstage compared to a 2-channel system, or is that just haven't spent enough on money on them yet? They're not going to have issues. They're going to have a different Soundstage, and that is like speakers give you like a realistic Soundstage. Headphones are going to give you width, sometimes depth, forward and aft, and placement and space. So it's just a different Soundstage. So one, you can't recreate a speaker experience on headphones. You just can't. But the cool thing is you can't recreate a headphone experience on speakers. So for me, I enjoy having both because they're different. And it helps me to enjoy my music 2 different ways. Sorry, I'm skipping some guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to decide right now between the JBL 530s, Yamo C93 2s, and the KEF Q150s. Any thoughts? Personally, I did not like the JBL Studio 530s. I actually prefer the A130s over the 530s. Between the Yamo and the Q or the KEF is going to be more neutral, but yet leans a bit warm, which is very nice. However, the C93 is a U-shaped, punch you in the face, the most detailed soft dome tweeter I've ever heard. So they're kind of in different categories. Yamo, fun, V-shaped. KEF Q150, more linear, probably more audiophile, leans a bit warm. But they're both different. I would personally like them both. And I wish I still had my 150s. I do still have my Yamos, and they're permanently in my bedroom until I switch things out. Echo Link versus Blue Sound Node for primarily Amazon HD streaming. If it's just Amazon, go with the Link all day, every day, twice on Sunday. $140 right now. Incredible. Even has, if you go into the Alexa app, you can do bass, mid-range, and treble control on it. Fantastic deal. That deal really can't be beat. And you can play not lossless. You can play gapless on the Link. You can as well on the Blue Sound. But unless you're doing a lot of stuff, the Blue Sound is 500 or maybe even 600 versus 140. So if you're just in Amazon Music, the Link all day long. And you can optical out of that into another DAC. Caveat to that is it won't do true HD. So it won't do 24/192. It says it will, but it won't. It only does 1644.1. But for me, that's just fine. It's just kind of interesting. We could talk about that later, but it's weird. Hey, hopefully he'll see it this time. Well, I didn't, Alan. Again, guys, I'm sorry. There's a lot of comments in here, and I'm not asking for money, but if you want to do a super chat, then I will make sure that I get to all of you because it's piling up in here. Okay, so Alan Plott said, hopefully he'll see it this time, Erickson. I wish you would have just said what you wanted me to see. All right, thank you so much for the thoughts on the cat. Warm greetings from Bosnia, my man. Enjoying and learning on your channel. Thank you. I like that. Bosnia. Bukart with no sub versus Infineon Argon 1 with it. I haven't spent any time with either of those speakers, unfortunately. The Bukart are a little bit pricey for my taste. Can't decide between Ascend and Emotiva. Left, right, theater. Thoughts? I don't know the Ascend, but I've heard great things about the Ascend acoustics. Yo, happy Black Friday. Friend is looking for sub 200 powered bookshelf pair for starter turntable setup. Any Black Friday deal suggestions? Well, interestingly enough, there's a set of Amazon powered speakers they look just like edifiers, but they're way bigger. Problem is there's no phono preamp. So if there's a phono preamp in the turntable, I look at those. I have them. I just haven't gotten them out and started playing with them yet. But they're huge. They're like $140. How come the Denon 600 amp after the 12th position, no volume increase? Disappointed. I don't know. I still don't have my Denon here. Have you changed the op amps in your A07? Not yet, but I do have some op amps here that I can change them to. The ones that I bought are Texas Instruments TPA something. If you go to the A07 Amazon and look at some of the comments or the ratings, one person talks about what to change them to, and those are the ones I bought. Really disappointed with Stage A130. I just ordered a pair, and they sound like something is covering the tweeter. I put them up for sale and went back to the Sony. That's interesting. I did not have that experience at all. Mine were quite clear. I'm sorry. That stinks. I'm sorry. Hello and happy holidays. Cantons are very popular here in Europe. Oh, yes, Cantons, for sure. My buddy loves Cantons. I like them, but prefer the Wharfdale. I enjoy your efforts. Thank you, Chris. Good morning from Bloomington, Indiana. I got a buddy going to Bloomington today. Do you have some advice on managing room resonance in a rented apartment? Some bass notes on my system are very resonant. Okay. Well, I would. Okay. So it's probably not the actual room. It's probably something in the room that's resonating as far as like furniture or a picture or anything. So what I would do is if you can hook up your laptop to your system, like you're streaming or something, even if you have to take a 3.5 RCA out of your computer, go to just Google tone generator. And it'll bring up the first one, bring it up, and then go down to the bass notes, turn it on, and then start slowly going up. And once you hit that frequency, resonant frequency, you can start to hear it resonate. So at that point, leave it there. If it's not too loud, if it is too loud, turn it down, and then just start going around the room and listening for where it's resonating at. So that's what I would do. It's probably not your room as much as something in your room. You know what I mean? Picture, coffee mug, kids' toys. Could be a lot of things. Just got my Koss and the iFi Zendak. Already had a something. Looking to buy the Sundara and HD 600 next. Ooh, baby. Sundara is awesome. Hot coffee. I have a lot of headphones in right now. 560S. Very good too. Aeons, Virums. What are those? A German. Bear Dynamics. Got the Phoenix in. Ooh, you guys want to see some fancy headphones? Look at that. Meze Imperium Elite. Most expensive thing I've ever reviewed. $4,000. It's crazy. Crazy for feeling. Okay. Ordered a pair of Polk XT20 today. Cool. Slow boat. What does that mean? I don't know what that means, man. Every video you say that. YSIG. I don't know what it means. And I'm not going to try to figure it out. I'm not good with acronyms. Cam, I tried the high diz, THX, and Dragonfly dongles, but can't listen to IEMs without noise at low volume. Makes the IEMs unusable. No noise with low noise over ear cans. Any advice? So we're talking IEMs. I've listened to IEMs on all of those. Not the THX, but the Helm, Dragonfly, Red. I don't know, man, because I've listened to a lot of IEMs. I don't know. I can't help you, man. I'm sorry. I mean, I also use the excuse me, Ear Studio M100 Mark II. I've never heard any noise. It could be my hearing is going. Do. Okay, we're going back up. Okay. Yes to DIY. Order the Encores. Cool. That'll be fun. Love your channel. Thank you. Best wishes from Iceland. That's so cool. I love it when we have people from all over the place. Iceland. M56 are 56 M560S. Wow. Our open back and the AKGs are closed back. If you deal with open backs, the Sennheisers are definitely better. There you go. I have the Yamaha S803s and 8018. Place my sound bar. All in. Very cool. Greetings from the Rocky Mountain here in Colorado. We have some other folks in Colorado. Greetings from Maine. Very cool. I've never been to Maine. I'm looking for a switch or preamp with gain. You look at the shit. Where are you out of? If you're in the US, look at the shit Saga, which are going to be the Saga regulars without the tube is going to be back in stock. The Freya, the awesome Akatika PT102. Will you be reviewing 7 timeless plain art? No, I saw those though. I may pick up a pair. But I've heard great things about those. There's this guy that's blowing up called something like that. Anyway, he's really cool. He's funny and he's blowing up. So I think he does a really nice review of those. Hey, we got a $5 super chat. All right, let's go down here. Lewis Moore just purchased the Ammo S801 and S803 with center speaker for $179. Thumbs way up. That S801 is one of the best little desktop speakers you can get. They sound fantastic. The 803 is awesome. They're both U-shaped. The bass clarity is not as good as some much more expensive speakers, but for the most part, that S series of Yamo is fantastic. If you don't move it around a lot because the vinyl coverings can come off a bit. But just don't move them around. It's kind of like IKEA furniture. Build it, put it there, don't move it. That's going to be fine. Critical. That's the guy's name. Oy. Critical. Yeah. Critical. I don't know. You should buy the GR Research Sony SS5 crossover upgrade for the quality parts. No, I shouldn't. But what I should use my brain housing unit in my head and my experience in building my own speakers and come up with my own crossover kit for probably 25% of what GR Research sells there for. I can do a crossover too. Danny's not the only one that can do a crossover. I can also do it. Heck, I can just replace the parts for the same type of parts with the same values for higher level parts and do it that way. Or I can change it. I don't need Danny. I've got myself. Not to mention, I'll pay $60 for the crossover instead of $350. Thank you, though, for the suggestion. Malarorio. Yo, Knoxville here, too. What sub to pair with the Elac UB52s or one? SVS Emotivas are great. The JBL Stage one is on sale. The Sony one is on sale right now. Awesome. Hey, Billy. My favorite British Billy Winsock. I'm going to Metallica on Saturday, Billy. So glad you're here, buddy. Hope you're having a good. I don't know if what you have in the UK as far as if this is a holiday or not, but anyway, I hope you're having a good Friday, regardless. Why is it so expensive to do separates in an Atmos setup? Just the processor is twice the cost of Denon AV receiver with both. I don't know. But what I do know is I trust Emotiva, and they probably separate power supplies. I mean, that can't just be the only thing. There's a reason. Um, but I would imagine I personally prefer separates for audio. For home theater, I don't know. I'm not really all in on home theater. I enjoy it. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Please do your own crossover kit. I'm going to. Actually, me and one of my patrons are working on it today. We've been exchanging text messages because I finally got that out at midnight, and then I had to figure out the traces on the back because this was much more like I've never seen traces like this before. So I finally figured it out on the back. So then I drew a one-line diagram. The caps are in joules, so I have to measure those, or my patron's going to measure them and get the actual values in microfarads. And then I'm going to get rocking and rolling. He's already measured some of the drivers separately, and then he's going to design something, or he's going to look at the total frequency response and then design something better. We're going to do it. We're going to hot ride our own, though. We don't need anybody else. We have brains. Can you go over your favorite tracks for headphone testing? Narcissistic Cannibal by Korn at the 1 minute mark. It goes do, very, very low bass note. Most of the time on headphones, you're not even going to be able to hear that. But if you have a decent headphone, and one of the best that I've heard is actually the new Opus Caspian. Now, with that headphone, I felt like the mid-range and the top end was a bit veiled, but I took the pads off, and there's actually a material covering the driver. So I took that material off. Ooh, all the detail came back. But now it's a bit hot in some areas, so I'm going to play around with some other materials and see if I can bring it down. There's a bit of a 2K hump in there. I'm going to play around with it, but just taking the covering off the drivers was really good, and it really opened up the bottom end. For top end, for air, I listen to a lot of MTV Unplugged records. Gives you a sense of space. Let's see. For treble, I listen to Nina Simone at the beginning of that song. Centerman at the beginning of that song, there's 16th notes. And you can hear the attack of the treble, also the decay of the treble. Also, Africa by Weezer. There's a lot of cymbals hang out for a long time. So if you have a good decay in the treble, it's going to go on. For mid-range, shoot to thrill at the beginning. It should be crunchy, but yet full at the same time. And if you have a sloppy mid-range or veiled mid-range, it's not going to be crunchy. That's just some of them. Mumford & Sons for mid-range. The Redemption Song for mid-range, Bob Marley. It's a good song for mid-range because the entirety of it is just his voice and acoustic guitar. Very good. Dude, went full DIY Akatika preamp and power. Ooh, I bet that is a fantastic combination. I love my Akatika. I think he sold out of preamps. Do you know of a local Fort Worth shop that works on vintage gear? Have a Yamaha CR1020 that needs a little help. David, I do know of one gentleman. I wouldn't call it a shop, but that's what he does. He repairs and he kind of deals in the vintage gear. If you want to email me at cheapaudioman@gmail.com, I can get you hooked up with him. Okay, but I'll talk to you about him. He looked at one of mine, and I didn't end up doing anything with him. He's not cheap. Not cheap at all. You can also talk to me too about it because I did get some equipment here. I'm not quite ready to start tearing into other people's stuff, but I'm going to start looking into my own stuff. C93 or Clips RP600M. Ooh, are the clips on sale? If the clips are on sale and you like clips, probably the clips. C93s are awesome though. They're really awesome. Please stop the crackling audio. You know what? If I could hear it and if I knew it, I would stop it. But I can't. Here, I'll put on some headphones. Let's see if I can hear it. Thanks for being so nice and saying please. Very nice of you. All right. Test. I don't hear any crackling. What do you think of Polk in-wall speakers for home theater? I haven't spent enough time with in-walls to know whether or not they're good. I did recommend those to a guy that was doing a full-out build, and they love them. Buying speakers on AliExpress. I don't know, man. I don't know. You're probably going to be fine. That makes me nervous. I don't know why. Something's wrong with the sound. Is it still wrong? Here, let me roll down all the way to the bottom. Is my sound still off? Is it okay? I sound fine on my end. I don't know. Adcon amps. It's on his end. Okay, cool. Greetings from Germany. Quick question. RPI as a streamer, the Aries 2 DAC, and what is an amp? Oh boy, that's a good front end. It depends on what you like. Depends on what you have available to you. Let's see. I would not go any of the new NADs because they're very, I'm not saying thin, I'm just saying they're very detail centric. And I think that might be too much. I think you need something with a little bit more body, a little bit more warmth. The problem is most of the better stuff that I like is all US stuff. So shit, Akatika, Emotiva. Sonus, if you could tell me what you have access to, excuse me, I might be able to help you. Sorry. Hey, $2 from Swalzy. Paradigm Premiere 8000F versus Polk R700. Ooh. So I don't have any time with the Paradigm Premiere. I do have time with the Polk R series. And I've got the R200 right here. And I know you can't see it. The R100 right up there. I know you can't see those either. And they are incredible. So I would look hard at the R's. Polk really put a lot into them, and I can tell. What I think of Clips KG4s, I actually haven't heard those. Which integrated amps would you recommend for the Elac Unifi UB5 bookshelf speakers? Thanks. Cool thing about the UB5s is they're neutral enough to get on any amp. However, even though they have increased the resistance and the sensitivity a bit on those, basically they made them easier to drive. They still like a bit of juice. So I would look at something with 50 real watts and something that scales. So as the resistance goes down, the power goes up. I think the Denon stuff would work. PMA 600NE. Any of the Emotiva stuff would work. The TA1, the A2, the GPA Gen 3, but that's $1,000. Shit, Vidar. If it's a AVR, something that has legit power ratings, NR1711 from Marantz drove mine just fine, but that's a real 50 watts, and I think it's 70 or 80 into 4 ohms. So yeah, that's what I would look at. Dun, dun, dun. All right, Parasound. I haven't heard any Parasound, unfortunately. It's got a nice Clips cinema setup and also loves the vintage stuff. We picked up a pair of Phil Jones earlier this year, and he loves them. Your thoughts on the AADs? I haven't spent any time with them. I'm sorry. Well, SMSL SU9 sound a whole lot different from the SMSL. Oh, yeah. Okay, so the SU9, actually look at the SU9N. It is a lower cost version, has a little bit of a different chipset, but the overall sound signature is very similar. SA300 is pretty harsh. The SU9 and SU9N will bring that down a bit. It's very good. Also, look at the topping E50. That's a fantastic sounding DAC as well. Also, look at the Geshelly Labs J2 if you're in the US, or even if you're not in the US. Fantastic. Very good. What happened with Q Acoustics webpage? I'm trying to buy a pair of 33i, but didn't appear. Listen, bro, I don't know what's going on with the Q Acoustics webpage. I wish I did. That stinks. What are your thoughts on the X Duo QX50 Pro Bluetooth receiver? I haven't spent any time with it, but all the time I have spent with X Duo products has been awesome. I really like X Duo. All right, we're gonna skip down here a bit. Sorry. Greetings. Why not? Okay, Q Acoustics. We already talked about that. Okay, we're asking about Q Acoustics website quite a bit. Which forum speaker? Where'd we go? Bring back graphic equalizers. Need the light show. I know what you mean. I've got one right over there from the 80s. Shit is coming out with a full-sized EQ. I've got the Lokius. No lights, though. However, oh, it's not plugged in. I do have lights on this Vector Research. It's an old vintage amp. I have lights on a bunch of realistic vintage stuff. They're cool. Whew. KEF Q150 for $250. Yeah, it's a good price. What's my thoughts on no sound? I haven't had any in here, but I've got a lot of patrons that have had it and they like it. They like it. I'm sort of stuck with Blue Sound No 2i, so no USB output. Would a good DAC like the Aries 2 still make a big difference? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Aries 2. I'll tell you that my favorite DACs in their respective price range. Top of the line is the Aries 2, about $850, I think. But if you go to their website, change it to USD or whatever currency you're in. Because everybody goes, hey, it's $1,200 or $1,100. No, that's Singapore dollars. If you change it to US dollars, then the Geshelly J2, right around $300 if you include the USB. Fantastic. I like the shit Modi for around $100. I like the topping E50. SMSL SU9N, all very good. Oh, Ohio. See, are DACs from 10 years ago still relevant? I think maybe. It depends on how they were built. If it's an R2R, for sure. If it's a Delta Sigma, it depends on how it was built. And really what DACs are starting to come from my experience, DACs are really coming down to two things: power supplies and op amps. If they've got a very good power supply and they got a good op amp, just about any chip can sound fantastic. Frankly, I think more of the sound of a DAC comes from the op amp than it really comes from the DAC chip. Now, there's been a race to what's the latest chip, what's the latest chip, what's the latest chip, especially out of Asia. So most of that stuff is always about chip, best chip, best chip, best chip. In my experience, sound though has more to do with the power supply and the op amps. And that's a tough one because not everybody even publishes what their op amp is, or if they have a really good power supply. So that's been my experience, actually. What do you think about this AEMA A05 for a small 2-bedroom setup? I like everything AEMA has done. Sorry, Emotiva. Coming from Houston, Texas. Love the content, man. Thanks, Manuel Campos. Emotiva TA100 for $301. Yeah. My favorite, excuse me, that was my favorite integrated amp for a while. Actually, probably still is one of my favorite integrated amps. Got preamp outs, although the TA1 now, really cool. It's got preamp outs with a high pass filter on them. Fantastic. Hold on, one more drink. Was the best all-around $200 speaker with a good tweeter? Sony SSCS5. It's $88 right now. Are the Emotiva headphones any good? That's a great question, and let's talk about that. I have them right up there. So, number one, yes, they're great. Op amp, what is that? It is basically the amplifier before it goes out the door. So it's bringing it up to 2 volts. So think of it as a mini amplifier within a DAC. Elac, or not Elac, Emotiva headphones. Sorry, it's bumping down. They're fantastic. Also have the Sivga Phoenix. I have these guys in too. Okay. So this and the Emotiva headphones are primarily exact copies of one another with styling cues and differences. The Phoenix right here, their pads are much shallower than the I want to say like Emotiva, but the drivers are exactly the same. The cup size exactly the same. It is the same headphone except for the headband and the pads. Now, with all that said, these, while the construction of the ear pad is identical as far as angles and things like that, the depth is wildly different. And for my ears, for a bigger head, the Emotivas are way better. However, you can get other pads for the Sivga Phoenix. I think they're $16 on Amazon. So if you order the Sivga Phoenix, which are, I think $250, they may even be on sale now, then the $16 pads, you'll come in lower than the Emotiva. Depends on who you want to support, though. If you want to support Emotiva, right out of the box, they're awesome. Awesome. And I think you really have to step up into like a Hi-Fi-Man Sandara or something else to beat them. It's a very good, cohesive sound signature. Bit of a U shape, but still very good. Very, very good. Love those Emotiva headphones. Fantastic. Whew. Have you ever done any review of the inexpensive, cheap tube amps from China? I did. Well, it depends on which ones you say are cheap. So I did 2 Bayou range. One was, well, they both were EL34 output tubes. So one had 2, the other one had 4. They're good. They're good. I'm not a tube guy. So I'm trying to kind of get in, understand tubes a bit more. But that hasn't been like, I'm not a tube expert. I'll put it to you that way. Shelly Labs, 10% off. Yeah, I need to post that actually. Oh, hey, Tom, $5. For the Sony SSCS5 recommendation, these are great little speakers, especially for the price. Yeah, we're going to jazz them up a bit. We're going to take it to the next level. Take it to the next level. I had to pry this out. Broke off one of the corners. That's okay. Yeah. We're gonna hot rod it. Hello from Deutschland. What up, Metarod? Emotiva is vegan leather. That's right. Those cows only eat grass. Those cows are vegan. Dude, you didn't mention XLS Encore in your best speakers. I didn't mention any DIY speakers. I don't think it's fair. I think everybody knows how I feel about the Crichtons and the Encores. Thank you, FTK Forte. Not everybody can do DIY, and that's why I didn't mention it. Not everybody can do it. Not everybody can glue it up. Not everybody can wire it up. Not everybody can put a nice finish on it. So it's just not fair. It's a completely different category of speakers. Completely different. I have a ship Modi into SA300. Will getting the SMSL AO200 give me much of a difference in sound quality? I'm trying to remember the SA300. I don't think I've even heard the SA300. So the difference is with the AO200, and I'm pretty sure they have the Infineon 12070 amp chip. I find that the AO200 and the DA9, which are fundamentally the same amp, except the AO200 has a USB input for like a thumb drive or something. I find they're the best sounding Class D amps out there, and they sound even better than the other SMSL offerings that utilize the same amp chip. So what that tells me is they're using different op amps in the T and the DA9 and the AO200, which to my ear sound more analog, less harsh. So I don't know. I haven't spent any time with the SA300. Actually, is this the SA300 right here? No, this is the 400. So I have the 400 right here. Why do I need a preamp? Hope you're doing well. Preamp selects different inputs. So if you have a phono stage, a CD player, a DAC, and things like that, it's going to manage the input switching and also gives one volume control. Depending upon what type of volume control you're after, it can be good or it can be bad. Most of the preamps have an optimized volume control, and they also have a separate power supply from the amplifier section. So when you separate power supplies, things like instrument separation, soundstage, those all start to get better with separate power supplies. So that's really the main reasons for a preamp. Most integrated amps are going to be fine and do everything you need it to do, though. But if you really want to step up, a separate preamp versus power amp is what I would recommend people kind of strive towards down the road. That makes sense. Whew. Any good deals on integrated amps? Emotiva TA1. They have 20% emo bucks. So if you go buy it, then you can get basically, if it's $100, you get $20 on your next price. If it's $400, you get $80 towards your next purchase. TH $1.99. Thanks, man. Trying to come up with a reason to buy the Sony SSCS5. I just bought 2 pair yesterday because mine, I zapped them with one of my vintage amps, and there's some weird resonance going on in them now. So I bought 2 pair. One, I'm going to mod. The other one, I'm going to leave stock. Then they're going to battle royale. 2 shall enter. Only 1 shall leave. The Sony SSCS5 battle royale. Thanks for the answer on the Emotiva. Been running the same pair of. Oh, we got another super chat. Bam, $5. Just bought the Monolith Balanced DAC amp open box. Speaking of Monolith, I have their 2 new speakers out there, but also I went on a bit of a spree and I bought the M1070 and the M1070C close back. They're also on sale, $300 a piece. I didn't need them, but I bought them. I love headphones. I love it all, but I love headphones. Hello from Oman. Do you think the IEMA A08 is better than A07 on the amp side? They're identical on the amp side. Okay. I've heard the A08 has a better internal power supply versus the external unit supplied by the A07. That's interesting. I have the A08 here. I can give it a try. Did someone already mention the JBL 500 series sale? They didn't mention that it was on sale, but they did mention they asked about it. Yeah. A lot of people love that speaker. AO200 versus IEMA AO7 sound quality. Okay, the AO200 is going to be a bit cleaner, but AO7 has socketed op amps, so you can change those out. Change out the power supply. You can hot rod the AO7, whereas you can't hot rod the SMSL AO200. And the AO200 has a remote. AO7, no remote. So it depends on what you want. If you like to kind of tinker around with stuff, AO7 can't be beat. That makes sense. But the AO200, fantastic. One of my favorite. Dude, I want the Encore B6 for my living room. Yeah. Well, they're about ready to get unboxed and start to be. Actually, I'll probably do that after this. I'll take them out and I'll put them in the bedroom, start burning them in. Got myself a couple of Burson Supercharger at 50% off. And Sparkos Op Amps at 30% off. Only bought what I planned to buy. Hey, can you email me with those links? Because I wanted to get some Burson stuff today too. I mean, I'm sure I could find it, but I'll probably forget unless you email me. cheapbodyman@gmail.com. Micros $199 today. I don't know this. Didn't get any answer on my super chat. Did I waste my money on the monolith? Eric, I'm sorry. Let's go back up. Eric Stewart just bought the monolith. I thought I just talked about that. Bought the monolith balanced DAC amp open box 400. Did I waste my money? All right, Eric. You didn't waste your money. Let's go. Monolith balanced DAC amp. Do you have the mono number? I'll pull it up here. Monolith balanced DAC amp. I don't think you can really waste your money on anything from Monolith. It's the Liquid Spark by Alex something. No, that's $800. Let's see. Let me roll down here. Louis. Oh, we got 2 super chats. Thank you. Monolith Liquid Palette. Okay, we already clicked on that. Headphone amps. Let's see. Balanced. Okay, that's a THX. Let's see if we can find 400. Liquid Platinum that has tubes. It's 100. That's 800. It's 99. I don't see one. Can you tell me the model number? Let's see. Sorry. Let's go back up. Eric, can you tell me the model number on that? Balanced DAC amp open box. Well, if it's the liquid gold, I would imagine that that's a heck of a deal. Again, anything that I've had from Monolith has been just fine, exceptional, even with the exception of maybe the build quality. But for DAC amp, build quality doesn't really even matter. Ooh, hey, anyone know if super tutor can take place of a tower tutor that is blown? There's no known plug-and-play replacement. So with a super tweeter, usually it's going to start at a much higher frequency than a regular tweeter. So the super tweeters I've played with start like around 4,000K. With a regular tweeter, you want that thing to be playing down to 1,200. So I will say that it probably can't. And that's the reason why they call it the super tweeter. So it's not just a tweeter. It's up above. So if you want that air, the extension, and things like that, you look at a super tweeter. But if you look at, like, is it a 1-inch soft dome? What type of tweeter is it? You can go to places like Metasound and call them up and say, hey, this is the speaker that I have. This is the tweeter. Do you think there is anything that I can just drop in there? Because tweeters are going to have different efficiencies and things like that. Different sound signatures, and then they're also going to be needed to cross over at different levels. But what they can do is, if they know about that tweeter, they can look back at it. They can figure out, okay, where's this tweeter crossed? What is the material? They can find something that crosses over around the same area, and you can drop it in. You're probably not even going to be able to tell that there's a sound difference. If that makes sense. Hey, Randy, just got a Bifrost 2. Great so far. Thanks for the helpful review. Thank you. $10, Brandon Hall. Thanks for so many great videos. Love your straightforward and unpolished approach. Come on, I'm polished. No, thank you, Brandon. I appreciate it. We try to keep it real. Here, the cheap audio man. We pack our lunch here. Dragonfly Red. I'm looking for single Stark recommendation. Amp DAC. Single stack, sorry. Recommendation for work, headphone, and bookshelf. Ooh, there's a lot out there. I mean, you got the Modi, you got the Magni, you got the new topping stuff, which is pretty cool. The E50, the L50. You have the SMSL stuff, which is all pretty good too. But my favorite would be, hold on, I got this plugged in. One moment. My favorite would be the Gashelli. You don't have to get it to look like this. You can get it to look any way you want. And they have wood cases. Gashelli E2 and the Gashelli J2. Those are my absolute favorites. Warm, natural sound, huge soundstage, huge amounts of power. Micah RB52 versus Sony SSCS5. Sony all day long. all day long for me. Hey, from Kenya, what's your take on the Emotiva Atmos speakers? I'm sure they're awesome. Everything I've had from Emotiva has been awesome. Incredible stuff. Ended up getting a Sony DH190 with clips for my garage. It rocks. Nice. DH190. That's the $99 Sony little 2-channel receiver, right? I think it is. Would you say the Emotiva T1 Plus is worth it over the T0 Plus? Yes, for sure. And I'll tell you the reason why. That T1 Plus can play in any room. T0 Plus, really smaller rooms. T1 Plus has much better bass extension, much better bass punch. Shelly stack versus E50 L50 stack. So T1 Plus would be my recommendation if you can swing it. Edwin L. I have the Sony ES vintage component bug. What's your take on them? I don't know that one. I'm sorry. Let's see. Someone was asking about the Shelly versus the topping. Shelly stack versus E50 L50. If you need a remote, then it's the topping. If you don't need a remote, then it's the Geshelly all day long. I really like the Geshelly stuff. I love it. All right, we got another super chat. Todd War saying, your videos influenced my recent hi-fi upgrade running Elac Unifi and Yamaha AS501. Cool. I'm interested in that amp. The Yamaha looks really cool. Love it. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Todd. Thank you very much. The Yamaha drives those pretty well. Those new Yamaha amps, AS301, 501, 701, they look really cool. Is it okay to run a dongle DAC headphone amp from an iPhone directly into an integrated amp? For sure. Yeah, just take a 3.5 to RCA and run it in there. Absolutely. Or if it has a 3.5 millimeter input. Hey, Metal Man 070. Thank you very much. Hi from Israel. Not much to ask. Just saying hi and great channel and happy holidays to you. Rock on. Happy holidays to you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know if you have holidays right now in Israel. I know they're coming up though. Happy holidays to you. 550 from Adorama for the HE6 SV2. Amazing. Just make sure you have a powerful amp. Very cool. Should I get Polk ES20 considering your positive review of ES15? I haven't heard the ES20, but I would venture a guess that it's probably going to be pretty good. I like the S20, and the ES15 was head and shoulders above the S15, so I'd imagine the ES20 is probably pretty awesome. Hey, Mark's from Sweden. Been following you for a while, and it's been a great ride. What is your take on Paradigm as a company and their products? Did you ever review the Premiere? I reviewed a Paradigm. I can't remember the model number, and I thought it sounded good. Very good implementation of an aluminum dome tweeter. I don't know them as a company. I've never talked to them or reached out to them, so I don't know what they're all about. But they're the one that I reviewed. I can't remember the name of it. Was very good. How bad an idea is it to hook up an SMSL DAC into an AVR if you don't have separate amp? It's fine. Yeah, just hook it up to any of the RCAs that you have open. It's great. Actually, I recommend that all the time. Use your link to get Disney Plus to watch Beatles doc. So worth it. Thanks. I think that people get 6 months of Disney Plus for free now. Hitting 90 dB at half volume with the AS501 through the Unifi 2.0. Cool. That's palpable. I'll wake up the neighbors. Pioneer F5 SS52 towers with the Sony SSB. I don't know the Pioneers. Are those the Andrew Jones? Because if they are the Andrew Jones, they're going to sound way different. Like completely different. Andrew Jones are going to be warm. Hey, we got a $20 super chat. Thank you. Charlie Lothar, happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, Charlie. Thank you. Is a 12.2 Wharfdale versus $100 more over the 12.1? I've heard the 12.2. I don't know. I'd have to hear the 12.1. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. That's a lot though. Planning on getting the Arundel 1723s. Have you any experience with that? I don't. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. I'm skipping around somewhere. Watch out. South Africa just joined the chat. Hello. What's up? My Pioneer Towers are the Andrew Jones. So the were you talking about the Sony towers or the Sony bookshelves? Because if you're talking about Sony towers, I'd pass. Those aren't nearly as good as the bookshelves. I've seen a lot of your feedback on the Elac debuts. Any thoughts on the Elac floor standing line? I haven't heard any Elac floor standing speakers, but from talking to Ron and not really Andrew Jones directly, but hearing what he has to say, the floor standers sound exactly like the bookshelves, just a bit louder. So I would say that any of the Elac debut stuff is going to be fantastic. Fluent signature bookshelf versus Clips RP600, RP600. It's going to be a different sound signature. The Fluents are very neutral, but they don't have a lot of personality, where the Clips have personality plus. Good idea to use Lockg A30 with the shit Modi. Any improvements? Yeah, I think you're going to see some improvements for sure. What's up, Tim? Have you heard the Q Acoustics bookshelf speakers, 3030i and 3020i? I have heard both, and I've done reviews on both. 3030i are bass monsters. 3020i are more neutral. Depends on what you're looking for. 3030i's can punch hard. Anthem AVRs. Would you say they are better than the Denon AVRs? I have had very good experience with Anthem. Actually, my first reference integrated is an Anthem 225. I haven't spent any time with them lately. I would say probably the upper end Denons are going to be great. But the Anthems, I don't know. I haven't heard them, but what the experience I have had with Anthem has been very good. All right. Been at this for an hour. Hey, Cheap Audio Man from Spain. What's up? I was looking, the Mookie, love three-way speakers. Have you other recommendations similar to the Mookie? TIAC or Wharfdale E70. The only three-ways I've really heard are the Wharfdale Evo 4.2. They were great if you can get the placement right. Okay, here's a good quote. Sorry, I just don't know. I don't know three-way speakers very well. Difference between JBL Studio 500 series and A series. So the Studio series is their step up. But the funny thing is, I actually prefer the Stage series better than the Studio. When I compared the 500, I can't remember, 550, I think, to the A130s. The 530s, I think, were a bit, they're really kind of intense, where the Stage seemed a little bit more laid back. Oh, Elac Unifi is a three-way. Yeah, good point. So, yes, I have had some experience with three-ways. Yeah, sorry. All right. A long day yesterday. Sorry. Yes, the Unifi are three-way for sure. I meant like separate, but I don't know. You're right. 315 people in here. Holy cow. XLS Encore with bass components versus Elac Unifi UB52. Trying to decide if the work to build an Encore is worth it. They're different sounding speakers for sure. And I don't even know if it's worth it to really go and get that upper end crossover. Of course, Danny's going to say, yes, it is. But speaking to people that I trust very much who have AB'd the top end crossover versus the bass crossover, they mentioned that, yes, there is a difference on certain tracks, but oftentimes he couldn't tell the difference. With all that said, the Encores have a much airier presentation on the top end. But the UB52s are going to outpunch that Encores every day of the week. And it is amazing how much punch you can get out of the UB52s. Is that the first gen or second gen? either way, the first gen is much more relaxed on the top end versus the second gen. If you're talking second gen versus Encores, they're more similar than different, but they're both good. The Elacs are going to outpunch the Encores, though. Hey, Ronald from Haiti. Jeremy, what's up? Just got here. What's up from KSA? Version 2.0. Okay, yeah, 2.0. It depends on what you're looking for. The Encores are very special. The Unifis are special as well. I think the Encores will beat the Unifis as far as bass clarity, but as far as bass punch, the UB5s are going to win. I'm going to turn on my fan. Get a little hot in here. Purchase the AIM at TO8 and AO7. Thinking about 2.1 setup. Really good value. Recommended pairings. For speakers, cool thing about the AO7 is that it's good. It's like it's not harsh like a lot of Class Ds. So it pairs well with really a lot of stuff. Oh, no matter what, my Elac debut reference are too damn warm. Any suggestions for different speakers? Depends on your budget, of course, but I got a nasty comment. All right, maybe it wasn't a nasty comment. Depends on your budget. The Elac Unifi 2.0s much more exciting on the top end, but you got to run them in a little bit for sure. I AB'd those, and I think the Unifis had better mid-range or more apparent mid-range. Definitely more exciting top end. It's got the Sony bookshelves you always hype with the SA300 as a gift for everyone. Thanks for your help. I don't know if I hype them. I just think they're good. $2. Thank you. A key Akatika pre and power stack versus shit Freya S and Vidar. Akatika is going to sound a little bit more full on the bottom than the shit Freya S and Vidar. I have both of those in house though, and I plan on doing an AB against both. Shit obviously has more power, a lot more power. I try not to hype the Sony SS-CS5s. I would just challenge anybody to come up with a better speaker at twice the cost than the Sonys. They're fantastic. I've got no, I mean, yeah, I get money on affiliate links and stuff like that, but not really. It's not, I mean, I'm not really pushing them for the sake of pushing them. I push them because they're good. And they're kind of like they're what I would call kind of a gateway product. Hi, Biscuit.
To tell you something.
What? Say hi to everybody out there. Yeah. All right. Go in the kitchen, Bobby.
No.
Do you have a chance to hear both the Q Acoustics 3000 and the 3001 series? In the UK, you can get two 3050 towers, 300 or a 3050i for 500. Is it worth paying almost double? I listened to the 3020s versus the 3020i's, and 3020i's are pretty good. You want to go see Emmy? Oh, we got a super chat, $9.99. Thank you, Paul. Happy holidays. If you follow Rainey closely on YouTube, consider becoming a patron. Paul, what a nice guy. Very nice guy. Thank you, Paul. Hold on, I'm going to close my door again. My YouTube career ended in 2006 when my son turned 3. Yeah. I know what you're saying. Usually, I do the videos when the kids aren't around, but obviously with the holidays, they're home. Huge shout out from Trinidad. Best audio channel on YouTube. Thank you, Gerald. Love your channel. I have a set of Fluence, Sig Towers, Crown XLS, Nobe Sound Pre, and Millard 2s. So it's a good Class AB amp. You reckon for my setup? Emotiva A2, Shit Vidar, Akatika, the power amp. Yeah, any of those. But does the eye actually add anything? I think it adds better bracing and a reworked crossover. How do you hook up MT604 to use a preamp? It doesn't have a pre-out, or does it? It does have a 4.4 Pentagon out on the front end. So what I did is I took a 4.4 Pentagon to 2 XLR out. Kind of wonky because you're coming out of the front and then you're going in the back. At that point, it becomes a balanced preamp. So whatever you have going into the MT604, now you can put that into an amp and you can control volume that way. 4.4 Pentagon to 2 XLR. Kind of wonky, but it still works. Or you could get the E2 from Geshelli Labs, which has dedicated balanced outputs. One volume knob. Shout out from Bellingham, Washington. I think I've been to Bellingham. Thanks for your channel, Cheap Audio Man. Not only informational, but so entertaining too. Thank you. For music, 3030i bookshelf for Emotiva T1 room 2016. Probably going to the T1. 3030i's are awesome, but it's a bookshelf.
Can you get me some all the toy boxes out?
Yeah, maybe in a little bit.
I don't right now, please.
Well, honey bear, I'm working.
Daddy.
Give me a second. Give me 5 minutes.
No, Daddy.
Give me 5 minutes. Here, you want to play some?
No.
Want to play with some tape?
Yeah.
Here, go play with this. Be careful though. Don't cut yourself. There you go. Yeah, you just want a couple pieces. There you go. Careful. It's very sticky. Cheap Audio Man Parenting 101. Give the kids a bunch of tape. There you go. All right, you got it? All right, be careful. That's how we do it here. Just give the kids tape. Have you used Blue Dento HD? Pretty good for $100. I haven't tried that one yet. What do you think about Z Reviews? No one seems to talk much about it. I think Z is awesome. I've talked to him a couple of times, and he's always been very gracious, very nice. He probably has more experience reviewing headphone amps and headphones than anybody by orders of magnitude. He's very good. Very, very good. I like Z a lot. He's awesome. Hardest working guy out there. Is that Sith Audio tape? It is. Yeah, Sith Audio tape. It's a limited production run of clear tape. How long till you dive into cheap streamers? Oh, I have. I've got it's the Songbird by no, not a Relic. I have something up there. I have the turntable up there. Songbird. Why can't I think of the name? Anyway, the Songbird's out there. The Relic S50 Plus Pro, that's out there. They're both affordable. The Echo Link is very affordable at $130 right now. It's on sale. Raspberry Pi, I've done a couple of videos on those. So if you go to my streaming shootout video, but the Andover, that's what it is, Andover Songbird. So Andover Songbird, a Relic, a lot of cheap streamers. Cheapest of the cheap though is a Raspberry Pi, but Volumio is not great. What up, El Gordo? One of the best people I've ever met. You are nothing but the best for you and your family, sir. You too, Gordo. Want to play with some tape? Yeah, that's how we parent over here. Happy holidays. All right, we're gonna wrap this up here in a few. So, I've missed a lot. If you want me to go to yours, $10. $10. Brian Ruby, keep up the good work. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. How is motherboard 5.1 output? Should I get a USB card? I don't know, man. I don't know. What kind of output does it have? Is it just like a 3.5 millimeter? I just got the Fluence RT80. 2 questions. What should I upgrade first? Phono preamp or cartridge? Any thoughts? I would go with the cartridge. You can get a new, just happen to have it, new one of these. Get the Fluence one. They're about $20. You can mount your cartridge there. It's not as hard to do as people think it is. And I would go with that. I don't know which cartridge you have. If you want a much warmer presentation, this MP110 from Nagaoka, very good. If you really want to step up, the Ortofon 2M Blue, fantastic cartridge, very good, but it's expensive. So that's what I would go, and then I would go towards your preamp later. You're going to get more of a sound difference from the cartridge than you will from the preamp, if that makes sense. It would be hilarious if someone actually sells Sith Audio stuff. It's happening. That is happening. And actually, I'm probably going to reserve. Somebody already took sithaudio.com, so I'm going to reserve something else today because that is happening. After the first of the year, I'm going to start doing some Sith Audio merchandise. Sith Audio coffee mug is available. It's not a very good one. I just kind of threw it together and put it up there. It's available through my merchandise on YouTube here. I have the Ortofon Red. Is the blue a lot better? Yes. And Todd, I'll tell you the reason why. The red can seem a bit harsh in the upper mid-range and a bit aggressive on the top end. The blue is much more balanced, and the blue just sounds good. And I'll tell you, I was running the blue through an iFi Zen Phono, and I couldn't tell the difference between that and high-res streaming, digital streaming. It was great. The blue is quite a bit better than the red, in my opinion. And frankly, I probably won't listen to the red or use the red anymore. It's that much better. You can look at some. There's a lot of forums and discussions about the 2M red versus 2M blue. I think the 2M blue is far and away better. Billy, Sith Audio t-shirts already exist. You're darn right. Some very nice gentleman from the UK took time and effort, put it together, shipped it across the ocean, the Atlantic. Yeah. Billy Winsock, nicest guy in the UK. Agree the red sounds a bit shrill. Yeah, I was trying to be nice, but yeah, the red sounds shrill. Blue is much more balanced, much more balanced. Nagaoka, very thick, warm presentation. If you're into detail, probably skip the MP110. But it's a cool, different sound signature. And the cool thing about these Fluences is these removable head shells. So once you get it set up, you can switch it out in 10 seconds. How often should I change out the ferrofluid? Every 3,000 miles. Christopher Goss. Oh, here's some more Sith Audio parenting tape. Thank you. Hello from Katy, Texas. What's up? I got two buddies that live in Katy. Will you eventually review subwoofer pairings with bookshelf speakers? Maybe. I don't know a ton about subs. So they all kind of, especially if you're crossing them over 60 hertz or around there, or even 70 hertz, there's not a lot going on down there from like clarity perspective and things. Some people would argue with me, but that's okay. So I can't I just always hear, oh, there's the bottom end of the music. There it is. I don't really hear because the bass driver or the mid bass driver on the bookshelf or tower is still handling most of that. So the real difference in music, I think, is coming from the bookshelves versus the subwoofer. But I think a safe bet is always SVS subwoofers or Emotiva subwoofers. They're both very good. Have I ever gotten to listen to Oppo PM3s? I haven't, but of course they have a stellar reputation. All right, we're gonna call it a day here. So if you got any more questions, let's do 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. Bloom HD Bluetooth receiver on sale today, $95. What kind of codecs does that carry? Hold on. Bloom HD I feel like I misspelled that. Bloom HD. Bloom HD Blue. Sorry, I can't type. Bluetooth. All right, there it is, $95. aptX low latency, aptX and AAC. Yeah, good. I don't know what the amp or the DAC looks like inside, but yeah, sounds to me like it'd be a pretty good. Okay, Qualcomm. Okay, that's doesn't talk about the DAC. That's a Qualcomm. That's the Bluetooth chip. You're one of the very few that pronounces my name right. Oh, thank you, Mr. Gas. Just kidding, Goss. All right. What has a more defined mid-range? Evo 4.1, Elac debut reference, or the Wharfdale Diamond, the 4.1s? Because the way they integrated that ribbon tweeter, it's very well done. So it's very good. Debut reference is not as there's not as much top end extension on the debut reference versus even the debut Unif. Oh, excuse me, debut reference. Yeah, Evo 4.1. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the Unifi. Yeah, 4.1 for sure. You want really defined mid range? Get the 4.2s. Any Cambridge reviews coming up? I don't. I just did the 25. Well, not just did. A few months ago, I did the AXA 25. Very good. Very, very good. Very, very good. Okay. Between Evo 4.1 and debut reference, which one would be preferable if they're at the same price? It depends. I think the 4.1, I love the 62s. I think the 62s are a little bit warmer than the 4.1s. If you're looking for a more neutral presentation, probably the Evo 4.1s. But I love them. I love them, both of them. What do you think about the? Actually, they're up. You probably can't see them. They're up there. What do you think about the Sony MDR1AM? I haven't heard it. Unfortunately. Love the hair. Thank you. Getting a little bit thin on top. A little bit thin. That's okay. Shout out to the Sunday Zoom crew. If you're a patron, the Zooms are even more interesting than this quick fire stream. Yes, they are, Billy. Thank you. Yeah, Zooms are awesome because it's not me just doing all the talking. We have 30, 40 people in there. Everybody has a ton of experience, and not a question has been asked that has not been able to be answered for the most part. And they're ton of fun. Just sign up and cancel if you don't like them. They're so much fun. I was not subscribed. Now I am. Thanks for all your help. Thank you, Carlos. Anyone have an outlaw sealed or ported subwoofers? I like sealed personally, and I like the Emotivas with the passive radiators. Should you be shamed for loving mini disc? Of course not. I love 8-track. All right, I think we're going to give that. We're going to wrap it up today. So I hope everybody has a great Friday, or wherever you're at, whatever day it is. I really appreciate all your support and help and watching, and it's been awesome. As Billy said, if you want to get a little bit more into this, meet some other folks in the community, build some friendships. We have the patron Zooms, and we also have a patron-only Facebook group, which is awesome. And you get to meet other people, sometimes even in the same area. So incredible community. So if you want to try it out, sign up for Patreon. I think you can do a $3 tier if you want to. Cancel if you don't like it. But it is a great way to connect with other people in the community for sure. And have face-to-faces, with Zooms, not the forum stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just don't really know how to do it. And it's kind of similar to this, right? So you get to talk to other people, see other people. Just great fun. Actually, I have met some of the nicest people and developed really close friendships with folks in my Patreon. Anyway, have a great weekend. Buy some stuff. It's on sale. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.